viewers, if you've been waiting to listen to Real Talk or Real Gist, here we are. And the Real Talkers are here, and I'm very sure we're going to be talking about a lot of trending stories. All right. For those who are joining us for the first time, I say welcome. This is another interesting episode of Real Talk with Kike, and I remain your convener, Kike Lomatonda. And of course, I don't do this alone because I have the Real Talkers on the table. How are you doing, Antempo, the woman in blue?
Oh, I'm good, Kike. It's good to see you again. The lady in milk colored. Looking really beautiful.
This is not a rice TV where they will be banting with colors. Do you watch the show regularly?
I don't know.
No, but this is nice.
I'm
anyway,
zipped.
Good afternoon, viewers.
I'm zipped.
It's good to have you on our show again. Just come with us and let's have a robust conversation today and see how we can move our dear nation forward. Marshall, good to see you.
No. It's been a while I saw you last. Kike almost indicted me, bringing me into on the spot to talk about something I wouldn't want to talk about. Bad energy, stay far away. That's what I'm representing today. My name is Marshall Anthony Ononye. Am I supposed to look in here? Here, right? Yes, that's my camera. So hi guys, welcome to the show. It's the Real Talk with Kike show, and we're reaching you live from our studios in Lagos, Southwest Nigeria. Silverbird is the station to be. Kike, you look lovely and splendid as usual.
Thank you.
You see, that's different coming from a man, eh?
It's just so low right now. I'm just trying to.
No, you have to prop it up.
Bring it up.
You know.
All right.
Prop it up. Sip. Take more sips.
Prop it up.
All right, guys. 25th of November seems to have quite a number of historical events in Nigeria, but let's get to hear one of the historical events in Nigeria history on this day in history segment. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
On this day in history, November 25, 2012, exactly 9 years ago, Boko Haram suicide bombers penetrated Armed Forces Command and Staff College AFCSC at Jaji, a security hub of the Nigerian military. It successfully attacked St. Andrew's Military Protestant Church inside the college, leaving 11 people dead and 30 injured.
Right, on this day in history segment, exactly 9 years ago. Marshall, let me come to you. What's your take on this?
Well, it's become 9 years ago. Everybody was like, wow, how could this have happened? An infiltration of the military installation or formation. And when the last one also happened in NDA, we also cried foul to say, look, what's the nation turning into? If we could have suicide bombers and kidnappers, bandits attack military installations, what more of FONI? How safe are we? It's something to look back and say, look, has it really been 9 years? The one that just happened this year, we're thinking like
a couple of months.
Yes, we're thinking like it was just a break. It just, happened first time in history. 9 years. Kike is reminding us that 9 years ago, something like this happened. Where are we going? Forward or backward? Fela says 1 step forward, 2 steps backwards. It seems he's a prophet in this regard.
Fela was never wrong. He came before his time, trust me.
Wow.
Okay, so we're talking about the infiltration of the military base 9 years ago. I think it's an utter shame, because right from when I was growing up, we've always had, there's this fear about Jaji. When you hear Jaji, then to know that people, as many as 11 were killed, I think that's a shame. One would have thought, just like you said, that we would have moved on, and learned lessons, and do the right thing. May God give us leaders we can look up to.
On the show today, we are discussing a very critical and sensitive topic, a topic that has, brewed and caused a lot of actions and reactions within and outside of Nigeria, and the ENDSARS movement organized by the youth, which occurred last year, that was led by loss of lives at the Lekki toll gate on the 20th of October 2020, and a year gone by, and the Lagos State Judicial Panel of Inquiry on Restitution and victims of ENDSARS related abuses and other matters had on Monday, I think on Monday, November 15, 2022, submitted a 309 pages, I hope I'm correct, on the report to Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. Now, there have been a lot of mixed reaction upon the release of this report, and without doubt, Nigerians are still waiting patiently for justice to take place, especially when it comes to the content of the report. I know that quite a number of people have mixed reaction, but to discuss this reaction, the expectations of Nigerians, and the indictment pointers in the report, we have a qualified ex-military officer of the Nigerian Army and an ambassador as well, with a lot of he has been decorated with a lot of what, probably the word again, honors. Thank you. All right, many thanks for staying with us. I would like to say welcome to the show. Would I say Ambassador Roy? Am I allowed to say Ambassador Roy?
You're allowed.
Oh, many thanks for being here. And let's go straight to the point. You know, Ambassador Roy, I know that we should call a spade because the report has clearly and evidently have shown that there was a massacre, even though some people are saying with the numbers of lives lost, is that enough to call it a massacre? But for the sake of the masses, we have referred to it as a massacre, which happened on the 20th of let's say October, you know, by the Nigerian Army. I want to come from the angle of the army. What should be the narrative now from the government and exactly from the Nigerian Army, given the volume of evidence in that report that was submitted to Lagos State Governor?
Well, thank you very much for this opportunity.
You're welcome.
You see, the ENDSARS issue was a great opportunity to really redirect so many things in Nigeria, especially that first 5 days. It was a great opportunity, and we expected the leaders at the helms of affairs to have snatched that opportunity. But if I will answer your question so that we would go to the drift of the event, the military in itself should not have been at that place at all. The first thing we should be looking at is who deployed the military. But of course, to question the executive, you need a solid judiciary. You need a solid legislative house that can question the judiciary and say, these are not status quo. These are not supposed to have played out. For the military team that went there, the penalty and the questions should be labeled towards the commander. Normally, before you deploy a military team, there will be a signal. They must get a clearance from Abuja. The Chief of Army Staff Office.
There must be another.
Yes, it must come from there. The Chief of Defense Staff, even the NSA should be carried along, because the Honorable Minister of Defense, they should be carried along, because it's a national crisis. So I don't think they just walked out of the barrack to get there. So who is answering questions about why were you there? We are not supposed to be asking them, did you shoot people or not?
True.
The first question is, why were you there? And when we find out why you were there, then who should be penalized? Was there a court-martial set up, as we have seen in different kinds of scenarios where the military come out to play in areas where they are not supposed to play? Like the Wadume case, where the military had issues with the police. In that case, some persons have been called to answer questions. So who is answering questions now why the military was at that place? That is the first thing that we should be talking about.
Many thanks for that.
Well, you see, my challenge now is going beyond the hearing, because while the hearing was on, a lot was anticipated by Nigerians. A lot was said about what would come out of that, and then eventually Nigerians heaved a sigh of relief to hear what we now know as a reputable and very highly respected report from that panel. It appeared they were fair, they were credible, and they considered all witnesses. The recommendations from that panel, we hear Sanwo-Olu saying white paper is coming out, but we also see that the effort of the government, so to speak, or instruments of the government, to stifle or intimidate those that have been said to have appeared before the panel. What will be your take on this? Because we've also had the chairman come out to say, look, his life is being threatened. We've seen attacks on certain witnesses. What's your take on this?
Well, Incidentally, when all this panel thing was going on, I was in the US, you know, so I was sharing this information with some friends there. And it was like, where is this thing happening? Okay, let me ask you a question now. Now, when the ENDSARS incident picked up, we expected the IG to react. The only reaction he did was to say he's starting SWAT. Now, we saw pictures, whether good or bad, we saw policemen on training for SWAT. So was that a diversion? Because the whole SWAT embroglio just died off again. So now, who is asking? You see, I like accountability. Now, the youths of Nigeria have been used for decades to perpetrate electoral frauds and all that by the people holding government. And when they perpetrate electoral fraud, they are in captivity for 4 years. And 4 years. And finally, their eyes are clear. They can see clearly. And they say, no, this has something, is part of slavery. We don't want this. This is a time for dialogue. We are dialoguing with bandits right now. People that carry weapons, pack people from their villages. We are dialoguing with people that stop our highways from people traveling for economic decisions. We cannot dialogue with youths.
I'm happy with what you just said. Apologies, because I know that you're a security expert, and with what you've shared thus far and the energy, I think your energy now is contagious because I've been low in my spirit. So
you needed
in my
this.
head, I'm thinking you're a man with many honors and a badge of decoration. I don't know, maybe it's part of it as well. So I want to believe that you are a great source of intelligence, even with the way you've spoken thus far. And I want you to please shed more light on who gave the order. Because I think that those are still part of the challenges that we are facing today. I know that these are things that the Nigerians are still asking. Is a glaring question to Nigerians about who gave the order, because I know earlier you were talking about accountability, talking about process, talking about the army shouldn't be there in the first place. So as an ex-military officer, help me with that question that Nigerians are actually craving to hear. Who gave the order? Help me explain to them, for those who are listening to us presently.
Well, the army's intervention, the military, one of the things that a soldier or a policeman or anybody that carry arms, one of the things that ginger your weaponry is the body language of the commander. If the commander is telling you, finish everybody there, I don't care, you will go beyond the I don't care. But if you are hearing things like, mind the way you use your weapon, make sure you use rules of engagement. If you try what you did the other time in the other operation, I'll make sure you are dismissed from the army. This and that, that and this. And currently, soldiers are held bound by so many laws beyond what the civilians think. So we have people in the military administration, like military secretaries, clerks, that will carry this kind of command from upper level to lower level.
Signals.
Nobody is going to tell you anything. The only thing you need to know now is that before military men will move from barracks to intervene in anything, there must be a command and control distribution. And if the panel didn't have the right audacity to compel answers, they could not compel answers. The whole responses from the military and other police officers, they were evasive. They were just trying to answer you and let me go. You remember Oputa panel? You see how people abuse the Oputa. Every time Nigerians have opportunity to just correct some kind of madness, we just mess it up. Oputa panel is still there. So people looking at this same panel are reacting based on the closure of the Oputa panel against the abuse on the panel. So why do you set up a national panel? That national panel immediately represents the presidency. So if you are called to respond to it, you are mandated to respond based on your participation in that incident. So I don't want to even look if they killed or they didn't kill. The question is, why were relevant information not disseminated properly? And why are we not seeing penalties? Why are we not seeing actions taken against people that abused office? Something is wrong somewhere. And you know, we like to politicize. So some people will be talking among themselves to say 2023. It's always against the next election. Who are those that are the big wigs? Who is going to be the next IG? Who is going to be the this and that? What about the other case of Hush Puppy and this? We are not seeing anything. Wadume and the police and the army fought, killed people. Where is the case? Where is Evans? So all of these shroudy things are part of the abuse on this panel. Now we are trying to discredit the panel. Meanwhile, the panel took a lot of processes, and the integrity of the persons that sat there is still clear for the public to peruse. So if the panel report is not favorable to the government, will it be endorsed?
All right.
Okay, I was just going to say, from everything you have said, I don't know if you'll agree with me. All I see is the seeming arrogance of the military. Because starting with when they were invited to the panel to testify, you saw the back and forth. We're not going, we're coming, and all of that. So I just see that seeming arrogance. And at this point, I'm just saying that I want your take on this. No Nigerian should be seen to be more Nigerian than the other.
Oh, yeah.
We all have a stake in this nation.
Absolutely.
That's why we're called Nigerians. And it's our country, not the military's country. This country belongs to all of us. So now question is, how do we draw the line? Because you see, the other day, the Chief of Defense Staff, Okhiediebie, was in Benin to see the state governor, and almost immediately discountenanced the report and said that it was utter disrespect to the military.
He would advise the public to,
do you understand?
keep quiet on this.
So what's your take on this, sir?
You see, for the military to show you any kind of body language that is not favorable to what you expect as a taxpayer.
Yes.
Because every agency in government is run by taxpayers' money.
True.
If I make a call, if I use an ATM, if I take my salaries, if I do a transaction, anything, when I pay my tax, I have tax clearance for my company, okay? And all of that, payees, their personal income tax, they run the government system. Now, when you see a situation where the military is asked to do certain things that are beyond them, let's take it back. You remember how we had military regimes. The military regimes transcended, we blocked NAGDECO, dealt with all the civilians, and the civilians themselves that were released, like all the NAGDECO bigwigs that were fighting, freedom fighters, they now merged with retired military officers, gave them opportunity to be senators, to be this, minister of this and that came from retired generals. Compensation. Why? To have leverage, to be able to use military to quash anything, because there were decades of deterrence in the police. Have you been to the police college? Have you seen the curriculum of the police? Have you seen policemen when they are discussing with a suspect? Have you seen the kind of questions, equipment, logistics that they have? Now that decadence ensured. Now that we have issues coming up, we use the military. Because that has been the bane of the highest control. And Nigeria needs the highest control from leadership that are not accountable. Lack of accountability is what makes this kind of audacity. So now, when you now bring the officer in charge and say, why did you do X, Y, Z? Did you not know that it is against human rights? The question is, when you sent me there, what were the marching orders that you gave me?
All right, many thanks for that. You know, still talking about accountability, yes, because we are waiting on the white paper from the state governor's recap from His Excellency Babajide Sanwo-Olu. And I would like you to tell us, will the white paper, you know, change the narrative of what is on ground presently, or what remedy does the white paper intend to do for Nigerians? I'm just curious.
Well, I think it's a waste of time. Let me tell you the truth. Now, when their first 5 days, when the SARS issue came up, and we agreed that, okay, we are going to bring SWAT, that traction should have had closure with, look, I came on air. I said we have universities in Nigeria that have criminology, security studies and all that. Graduates that spend 5 years, if there is strike or riot or any kind of protest, they will do 7 years. Then NYC will postpone them to 8 years. Then at the end of the day, they come out as criminologists, security experts. Why not put those kind of people in the police? Just go to the university, don't talk to them. Go to university, take their database, send SMS to them. If you want to join the army, police, whatever, meet us in so and so place. Populate intelligence, academic excellence into this platform. No DPO will send intelligent youths to go and be collecting money from Okada. We missed that. That is one. Two, there should be a discussion. When we were at that toll gate, how many government dignitaries came there? Wear your short knicker, wear a sneaker, come there, park vehicles, tell the policeman to your entourage to stop, walk there alone. If you die, you die. We are talking about a country stability. Walk there alone and exchange discussion with them, that we begin to show them that people are concerned with what is happening. The president did not go, the vice president did not go, and the Senate president, the judiciary, everybody stayed at Abuja so that the children can mess up themselves and will come and put blame game.
We are discussing the way forward, the justice Nigerians expect, the indictments in the report, and the approach of the government in delivering justice to the youth and families, especially families of the victims, so to speak, you know. And I must say many thanks for all you've been sharing thus far, and of course for bringing my energy back. Yes, and again, don't forget that you can be part of this conversation by joining our studio numbers, calling our studio numbers 080-988-77400, showing on your screen right now. And remember that we're streaming live on YouTube page, on Silverbird platform, and of course on Real Talk with Kike platform. Again, you know, with what you've shared thus far, I like the fact that you've touched on transparency. I like the fact that you didn't hold back when it comes to accountability, especially when it comes to the military officers. But you know, let's take it back to government, because I know that Femi Adesina, the spokesperson to the president, presidency, has said that the state judicial panel on police brutality and extrajudicial killings that they submitted, I don't know if I should use the word he used, but you know that as far as federal government is concerned, he has some questioning to do, you know. But why such a statement after his own colleague, you know, Lai Mohammed, has also denied and refused to, would I say, embrace the report of the panel, saying that they were tales of by moonlight. You know, it's unfortunate that these people, you know, I really like to be real on this platform. These are people that I can tell you that I have one relationship or the other with, but sometimes when I see how they display their, I don't know, ingenuity. You know, let's put it thank you for borrowing me that word. So what's your take on what Lai Mohammed said, that it was tales of moonlight?
Well, spokespeople for government, yes, okay, they are for government, are supposed to be people that have analytical skills. Sure. They are supposed to be people that are excellent in researches, okay, and they are supposed to be people that so fine-tune the statement that is coming out. Now, if you see spokespersons for government talking rash in that manner, you will understand that that is what is being discussed. Let me give you an example. A human resources manager in an organization should direct the way the company gives out. We have a call.
We have Ade calling from Songota. Many thanks, Ade, for calling. What's your contribution on the topic at hand?
Your guest has said it all. It's just that how I wish the people in the authority can listen to these people, because we all see that what happened in Lekki is, to me as a youth, is uncalled for. And we need someone that will put the interests of youth ahead of their own. So how I wish these people will listen, they will not. And what's pains me most is that whenever you see like Mohammed coming to the TV, speaking, he's so annoying. He's so annoying. It's just that, I don't know, maybe they don't listen to what Nigeria are saying, or maybe they don't listen to the news, or they are not ready to.
Okay, so what I'm trying to say is this: the HRO of a company can stand before the CEO and the board of directors and say, if you sack this accountant, it is not right. He can take it up and produce reasons, logical reasons why. As a spokesperson for government, it is not everything that you come out and say. You can direct the body language of the government, because you are between the government and the people. You are supposed to be on your Twitter, you're supposed to be on your social media handles, picking responses and giving feedback to the government. But what do we get? See, after election, somebody just calls and say, hello, you know Marshall? Say, who is Marshall? You don't know that my small cousin that was running? Oh, yeah. He has finished the university. Can he be your spokesperson? Marshall read mechanical engineering, no? Or maybe he's an architect. Maybe Marshall has not even spoken to students in student union before. But he just comes on board with the audacity. So
are we saying that that is the position of Femi Adesina right now? That ends the reason why he's saying he would not submit the report of the judicial panel?
Is it his report? Is it your report? A judicial panel. Do you know what is a panel? You don't know the profile of each person in a panel. You don't know the taxpayers' money that have been spent. So if they are not qualified to analyze and produce way forward, why did you engage them? Why have you been spending money to discuss? Why not disband it after the first 2-3 months? Who was monitoring what the panel was doing? Who was following up with the panel? Who was trying to say, we are not getting what we want, this is not the right team? But you waited after a year.
1 whole year.
And they came up with a report. And one person will just come on air and say it is XYZ. Is wrong. We are sending the wrong body.
Because my second dad was also part of the panelists.
It's wrong.
And I know that when it comes to we have a caller right now, Richie. Many thanks for calling. What's your contribution on the topic? Please go straight to the point.
Okay, I want you to ask the government.
Please bring down the volume of your TV set, please.
Yes, go ahead.
Network.
Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
Apologies, I have to let that go. Mashallah.
I wanted to hear him. Well, let's move beyond this. Recommendations. Let's look at the recommendations and let's see what your takes are on the recommendations. And if you have yourself any further recommendations, what are the top 3 recommendations that met your favor the most, and any other recommendations you?
One of the first recommendation is this: accountability. We must look for police officers that had issues and take care of it. It must be both ways. We must also look for police officers that were abused and take care of them. We must look for who sent the military there and find out which law. Is it an executive order? Because the police are not supposed to come there if the mobile police have not been exhausted. We have anti-riot police. Have they been exhausted? How many of them were killed? Were their vehicle bombed? Then we need to look at the reasons why the ENDSARS came. Is there a replicate for the ENDSARS now? Are we using due standard to form the ENDSARS? Then we also need to go this way. This one is the most difficult that I want to say now. We need to find out why the youths are restive. Was it only the toll gates that there was crisis? Other places I saw, they burnt down police station, killed policemen. Right. Why were people not killed there?
So we have Kike now calling Kike now. Many thanks. Please, can you kindly go straight to the point?
Hello.
And reduce the volume of your TV set, please.
My TV is reduced to the very minimum.
All right, please go ahead.
I appreciate all the ladies and gentlemen in the house. Actually, on the report, the ENDSARS report, the review, I wonder why the government is still keeping mute, and cold feet towards accepting all that the panel has said. Because whatever has happened to Nigerians, and I felt that someone should be, kind enough to accept that. But when you hear the comment of Lai Mohammed you really understand that he is not actually protecting the interests of the government, rather he's making mockery of the government. He should understand who he is and his position in the government before he goes about making such comments. We are still waiting to hear what the government will say based on this. And I really appreciate all your efforts, trying to make Nigerians understand.
All right, many thanks for your contribution. Please go ahead.
So we look at those recommendations.
The one that is difficult.
Then why is it that the army and the police had so much interest at that special point? Because it's a toll gate, right? So if it's a toll gate, is it a government property or a private property? So other places that police stations were burnt, other places that we had policemen killed, why were the army not begged to say, maroot this place for us? They killed 5 policemen there. Because the policemen's life were also not relevant.
True.
We don't contain policemen necessities, their welfare, their children, where they live. Have you been to police barracks?
Yes.
Where their schools. Look at the curriculum. We are still using archaic curriculum. The ones that train outside the country, they don't see the device they used to train to operate here. So they are coming empty because no enabling environment. So if you are interested in protecting the toll gates and you think you can kill Nigerian youths because of the toll gates, then you have missed the reasons why you are in government.
Should the toll gate be brought down?
Last time I told people about toll gates. Toll gates are supposed to be there to create resources to maintain the roads.
All right, many thanks for that. We have Monday from Plateau State calling. Monday, please go straight to the point.
Monday. Okay.
Yeah, serious.
We can hear you, Monday.
Apologies, I have to let that go too. Please go straight. Go
Okay.
ahead.
So if you put a toll gate in a place, definitely you have reasons for the resources for that toll gate. And one of the things I know is that every facility has insurance. The toll gate itself, I'm just thinking about the kind of insurance that toll gate would have, because it's more expensive than the other toll gates. Now, what is the insurance bond supposed to be for? So if people come there and they come there to come and riot or anything, you should be looking at your insurance bond to do immediate palliative. That first 5 days that you saw them singing and all that,
Not
government officials, immediate palliative, because there is a bond controlling that toll gate. Then the question is, why is there a toll gate there?
I'm happy on what you just touched on, because I think that just opened my own eyes as well. But I know that UN, US, Femi Falana, San, and other notable Nigerians have demanded justice on the report. However, a strong, will I say that, a champion of the ENDSARS movement has said that the federal government's attitude, which you also have emphasized on, that their attitude to the report shows that it's not, they're not ready for justice. Let me put it like that. So my question to you right now is that how do the victims, the families affected by the loss of lives or loss of loved ones get the reinstitution or restitution and justice that we are all here and talking about? How do you think that they should get that?
Kike, before he answers that, I like to say we've often said on this table that accountability is key. Kike, you say it all of the time. And we're saying right now that no nation, I've said it here also, no nation can thrive on insincerity. The only way we can move forward and where true healing can begin and justice for those who have died in this country generally is for us to speak truth. So I'm just adding that to what Kike has just said.
You see, sorry if I'm going to burst your bubble. The people that died at the toll gate, they have gone and they are gone. There are military veterans that serve this country. Okay? I lost my eye too in the army. My right eye. There are people that lost their limbs. There are people that cannot urinate. There are people that, these are people that signed to work. They have an engagement document that says when they leave the military, the police and whatever, they will be taken care of. They died in vain and they are still dying. We just buried Major Egaga now. So how do you think that same government that have military people in Hems of Affair retired cannot take care of the military catchment. Do you know that in the same community you will have military retirees trained as intervention? This crisis in the toll gate, it is this set of people that will even go there and use mediation and all those skills to dispel them. Now the same people that are dying now are going to die in vain unless you vote in a government, unless we have a government, unless we have a judiciary, a legislature, an executive that knows their role in stabilizing the extra use of power, the abuse of power by any other person. Donald Trump could not build the wall he wanted to build because the judiciary and every other agency stood against it. No one is in Nigeria, no agency or parastatal in Nigeria that can stand against an executive order. Why? They are all corrupt. There is corruption in every agency. The judiciary, the executive, the legislator. Money spent in the House of Rep can take care of those youths that were killed. Money spent in excessive waste can take care of the youths of Nigeria. Tell me, if you transfer 10,000 naira to the account of everyone that has a BVN that is between 18 and 20 something years and does not have a lot in the account, you can know. I can know if your account have not gotten any inflow. So I will know that you are jobless. I pay in 10,000 naira every month into that account. You begin to see a government that is like a father. That money, one person transfers it to Dubai and buy 10 houses there in a day. So if I can transfer money to youths that are not working, what happened to bursary in the university? Can't you go back and produce bursary? These children are in school, they are seeing monies to take care of themselves. So you are a rich man's son, I'm a poor man's son. We are reading the same course in the same university. Why is public school not better than private schools today? Why?
I think the only question in my head right now listening to you is how can we get people like you into corridor of power?
But people like him won't be interested.
Yeah, because
he's not being interested. Like she said,
I've spoken about this.
How do we do it? How do we do it?
Well, people like him.
We can't give up on this country. This is our country. You know, we need to make an inroad.
My heart bleeds.
We must.
You know, sitting down here and listening.
Time is going.
Being schooled by.
All right, guys. On that note, I think that we've come to the end of this very interesting episode of No Talk Back. And I must say to you that I applaud you for not minimizing words, saying it as it is, because we keep it real on this platform. Sure. I just pray that God gives people like you sparkling health that can continue to call out our government, those people who are in corridor of power, who have failed us. They failed our generation, failed the generation after us and our children. It's just so unfortunate. I think on this note, we have to move to the last segment of the show, which we call Trending Story. And these are stories that binds us together. You'll be amazed at some of the trending stories that has caught our attention. That is also part of the problem that we are discussing today. And the first trending story that caught our attention is that of what's it called? The reaction to fuel subsidy removal by the it's sad. I'm sorry. The reaction of this fuel subsidy, was actually said by Minister for Finance, Ahmed, that they will be collecting 5,000 naira. I hope I'm correct and all of that.
They will share it to 40 million
So, let me let you take on this. What's your take on it when you saw it?
Kike, I can't use the language I want to use. I can't. But I just want to say, for how long are they going to blindfold us in this country? For how long? What they're just trying to do is the subsidy money, they're going to convert it to paying
5,000.
According to them, I think it's an insult to say that you're giving. Yes. It's an insult to say that you're going to give the vulnerable Nigerians, the poorest of the poor, 5,000 naira, please. We're in Nigeria. What can 5,000 naira do today? What can 5,000 naira do? We're talking about commuting in Lagos alone. If you're going to give out 5,000 naira, do you know how much transportation is by public transport to come from the mainland to the island and back? In 2 days, you have exhausted that money.
What I'll think is, is it going to be a one-off? Because even here...
No, I'll correct you. It's not a one-off. They say it's going to be within the space of 6 months to 1 year. No, that's what she said, so that at least by the time it's up to 1 year, they would have gotten themselves, the so-called poor, will be okay to take care of themselves.
All right, many thanks for
but
that.
But even down here, Ambassador Roy had made a suggestion that somewhat relates to that, you know. So I'd like to hear specifically...
Well, it will not work. We did trader money when we just came. We had trader money. All the women came out, trader money. You cannot give a man peanuts and expect him to make a meal. It will only 5,000 naira is for what? For data or for what? Do you know that things have skyrocketed? I have staffs that are taking salaries, and I'm looking at it. I cannot charge the clients more. They are also in dilemma. So I cannot pay the staffs more. They are also in dilemma. And what happens? We are always in controversy. Controversy of utilizing our common knowledge, our common space. So everybody is in crisis. There's violence everywhere. There's anger everywhere. And you want to give people 5,000 naira. You will see fake accounts will pop up. You will see banks will agree for a man to put 10 names there and open account for them. Before you know what's happening, the impoverished Nigerian citizens will still not get the 5,000 naira. It's a wrong strategy.
We don't have a database.
Right, many thanks for your submission, Ambassador Roy. I think for me, I'm hoping and praying that Minister for Finance, Ahmed, you know, is listening presently, and because I really don't understand how people wake up in this country without thinking deeply and just begin. I was beginning to think that, why do they talk carelessly, especially when it concerns the masses, you know, and they really, you know, they really don't care, because that's all I see right now. How can the Minister for the Minister for Finance think and utter such statements, and the Nigerian masses are yet to believe that there is subsidy in the first place, because we really don't believe that there's subsidy. So the common Nigerian believes that it is some sort of funds that they also want to quickly embezzle again, and the likes every year in, year out, and all of that. They are always quick to embezzle money, and that is because there's no accountability and transparency that we've been talking about on this platform. And you know, when it comes to finances in our country, there are a whole lot of things I think I want to touch light today, because I want to ask the government, do people actually trust the government? Do people actually trust the people that are in the corridor of power? The answer is no. So the people, you know, saw how what's it called, COVID-19 palliatives, you know, that was meant for the masses, were stopped, and at the end of the day, it was only for their own selfish interest and what they were going to, you know. I also saw, I think on social media, how a senator came out to say that he wanted to share those palliatives for his birthday. You know, there are quite a number of things that are coming to my head right now. Or should I talk about the school feeding programs that they will say that they are actually spending billions of money or billions of naira to feed people? So these are things that I just feel that the children of the pupils or the students themselves are not being fed at all, just on initiative that I feel that would take this country to another state. Yet we are hearing a minister who is supposed to be a mother. Let me emphasize on a natural, because mothers are nurturers, women are nurturers. That's the reason why we try to put them in the corridor of power. And if we're saying that we need inclusion of more women, I'm asking myself, how many women do we have in the corridor of power today that are doing what is expected of them, that are going to be leading a better example for the people that are coming after them? So in my head, I'm just thinking, how do we move forward? How much is do they want to use that money to buy fuel or fuel in generators, or is it pure water to drink for a whole month? So I just feel that the minister for the finance minister, you know, should please speak intelligently. Speak intelligently for people like us that are looking up to you guys. It's just ridiculous. Marshall, quickly, what's your take on this?
And beyond speaking intelligently, because it is what they churn out, and this must have been vetted by the FG, must have been vetted by the presidency.
They had a meeting together
before coming out to make it a white paper, so to speak. So it's beyond speaking intelligently. It is about having very formidable strategies, economic strategies that would better the lot of the common man and change the price of fish in the market. How does 5,000 naira change the cost of fish in the market or the cost of gari in the market? Kike, please shoot.
All right, many thanks for that. I think
She will shoot and she will shoot me.
I don't shoot like that. I don't shoot like that. Yeah. All right. The second trending story that caught our attention is that of the lady that is set to marry her fiance in months' time. I think the fiance is always assaulting her. I think those are the pictures on the screen right now. It's been trending for almost 24 hours. You know, I want to start with the lady. With ladies, let us. Therefore, what's your take on this when I shared it on our WhatsApp group, or what's your
shared it? I just had a good laugh.
For people who do not know, could you set a background?
Yeah.
What's,
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, no, it's the story of this lady who the boyfriend has been pounding. Okay, and
she decided that she's going to go ahead
for some reason she's in love, you know. Her eyes are covered, and she's going to get married to the same guy.
Regardless of the assault.
Do you understand? You know, it's so painful that you bring out stuff like this to the space to say, people, public space, please help me out. And when people come to help you out, at the end of the day, you tell them, mind your business. This is about me. I think it's strictly a personal matter. She's made her choice. It's her choice. So let her bear the consequences of the choice that she has made.
All right, many thanks for that. You know, no, you don't need to say. Just But I must say this clearly. You know, it's extremely hard. It's extremely hard to advise a woman who is in love. Yes. Now, coming to the story or to the lady, I must say this from a place of experience. And I'm sorry to say this, you know, women should learn to, you know, they should learn not to ignore the red flags because people don't change. People hardly change. Ladies should learn to observe and know the kind of man they want to marry before they settle down. And it is extremely important for me to emphasize on this, because as far as I'm concerned, you know, I'll be going to a lot of schools next year, according to, you know, one of my mentors who insisted I must go to many states to talk about my book. So when stories like this come up, let us give a little tips on how to, you know, when it comes to violence and men and abusive men, as far as I'm concerned, let me use this as an example, because I know Lagos is a crazy place, and when it comes to our environment, you know, you can always they can always make you, our environment can drive you crazy. Let me use Lagos as an example. When you have a man in the car that is behind the wheel, guys, if you are listening to me, you should at least use that to judge the man. What do I mean by that? You can kind of manage the temper with him driving on the road, because you know that we have a lot of abusers and people who are on the streets who do not respect other users on the road. And when you see a man that is abusing every road users, know that his temper will be transferred back home, and that is red flag. The way some men talk to people on the road while driving should tell you who he is as a person. Some go as far as getting down to fight on the road. You know, this may seem funny, right? But the question is, it is the truth, and that tells you more about the character of the man. So such men can pour external anger when it comes to domestic cases. So such men can also become abusive to their women when they are at home. There are a lot of people we see in suits. I'll be closed doors. No, I don't think. No, particularly this story. The same man that assaulted you, you know, that battered you a few months back. You came back, you were talking about, oh, you've prayed for the grace of God, and that the man will change and he will become a better person. As far as I'm concerned, men like that don't change. I am talking from a place of experience. He may not torture you physically again, but I might tell you that it will torture you mentally and financially. If you are not financially capable or independent, such men will will abuse you mentally and financially. And I pray that ladies do not take all this red flag for granted. I pray that you can actually use your brain, apply your intellect. Apply your intellect. I have a very good friend of mine. Yes, a very good friend of mine, Iresi. The question is, when we are actually out and he's in the car with me, we have, come on, somebody comment.
Yes, let me just
talk. 1 minute,
sometimes men don't understand what women are actually paying attention to, and you will say, oh no, calm down, don't enter red flag, don't kiniko. I'm actually, because I feel that is who you will be.
Brought to you by
so you should pay attention. So that means is an easy going person.
To the lady, now fly window the year one, 9 they follow come.
9 they follow dead body.
I just wanted Roy to say his final words before we go. Just you have 30 seconds. The show is actually over.
On
this particular one, 30 seconds, please.
Now, if you look at abuse, the counseling aspect was not talked about here. If the lady is being abused and she wants to stay in the relationship, through counseling, okay, it could bring a balance.
All right, on this note, we have to move on to another something. So we'll come back next week. Let's get very real.
Bye, see you next week.